Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squad for boxing news and views from around the internet. Just how much better can Tyson Fury be in a rematch with Deontay Wilder? It's a question I want you to wade in on because some of the talk of him being 40 or 50% better, I just think that's a bit wishful thinking. I do expect him to be better, but that much better? I just can't see it. But what I'll do is I'll go to the quote that's been reported widely through the media and then a few thoughts, because there's a couple of things going on here that I think it's worth mentioning and just sort of ruminating over, and let's have a bit of a conversation about it. But the quote itself, so Tyson Fury, he's been doing these dinners that he often does, going around, you pay your money, speaking tour type thing, dinner, he entertains you for a couple of hours, all that sort of stuff. He's actually done that over several years. But in one of these talks, he said a number of things, and one of them is, he, in bracket Wilder, cannot get any better. I will be 40 or 50% better, and his whole team knows that. They saw my fat, ugly white body and bald head and thought I was shit, but then I Roy Jones'd them and they were it. He came into that fight with Deontay Wilder on December 1st, 2018. Effectively, his comeback was 6 months old. And that's from or 5 months. That was from when he fought in June in 2018 against Fury, and then he fought Francesco Pianetta in August 2018. Fury fight definitely looked a little bit slow and plodding, but he'd lost a lot of weight. You could still see there was something there. The Pianetta fight, he looked better again, but he didn't really sort of show everything he could. He sort of boxed within himself, got a few rounds under his belt, and did what he needed to do. And from that fight to the Deontay Wilder fight, there was a marked difference. Physically, he looked much better, but he was much sharper in a boxing sense. Everything was just clicking a little bit better. It was just a little bit smoother, and, it was better, especially than the Fury fight, although that was only 4 rounds and it was a bit of a farce. But it was night and day from the start of his comeback to December 1st, 2018. And this is why I think a lot of people are sort of saying that Tyson Fury can be so much better if he's given more time, and they have this fight, I think they're talking May to hold this fight somewhere in the United States, working out all the details, announcement expected shortly. And apologies if you're listening to this down the track, but you've come to this video, but the information in this still, I think, will be valid right up until the fight, because we just don't know. How much better will he be in this comeback fight, this latest comeback fight, which will represent the 4th comeback fight since he started his comeback in June 2018. And I say it's still a comeback fight because is Tyson Fury really back? Because people are expecting him to be much better at this time, and even Fury himself, as you heard, 40 to 50% better. I'm expecting him to be better, but how much better? Because we have to remember, he was out of the ring for quite a while. He was abusing his body with drugs and alcohol, stacking on a whole pile of weight. And really, he was putting his body under a lot of pressure. And then consider that first fight with Deontay Wilder. People are even admitting Tyson Fury didn't look at his best, but he was looking in, pretty decent condition. He boxed well, and it was enough to really outbox Deontay Wilder for a majority of that fight. But then again, Deontay Wilder is, he's a power puncher. He's got the right hand, and there's not much else in his arsenal. He didn't use his jab very well. He didn't go to the body much at all. He was really looking for the right hand, and that was it. So you could argue Tyson Fury, a well-skilled and slick boxer, he was always going to outbox Deontay Wilder, and that's what we all said pretty much going in, that if it went 12, he'd probably win it by decision. As it was, many thought he did win, but he didn't get the decision. It was ruled a draw. But saying he's just going to be so much better again, I think we just have to keep expectations in check just a bit. I do think he is going to look a degree better, but 40 or 50% better? I'm just not buying that, and I've just got a couple of doubts about how much more improvement there can be. And if you go back and watch that first fight, and you go back and watch the Vladimir Klitschko and Tyson Fury fight, there were a couple of things that were a little bit off. The timing maybe wasn't quite there, and we have to ask the question, will he ever get back to the level that he once was? Is the 2015 version of Tyson Fury, Prime Fury, and that's as good as it's going to get. And what we've got now is a pretty decent version, but it's never going to scale the same sort of heights in terms of his form and the way that he performs in the ring. I think we just have to ask that question and be realistic. I mean, maybe we can expect a 10% improvement whenever they fight, May or whatever it ends up being. But I think he will look better, he will be a bit sharper, but you can maybe argue that if he is a bit better and sharper than he was in the first fight, then it's going to make it look like a complete mismatch, and some of it may end up resembling that Klitschko and Fury fight if he manages to take Deontay Wilder's right hand away from him, and then it ends up being a bit of a stinker. There is some potential for the second fight not to be as good a spectacle as the first fight. But, you know, I hope I'm proved wrong on that, but there is some chance for that to happen. But I'm not buying into this he'll be 40 or 50% better again. I'm just not sure that's possible, but I'm just not sure he can ever get back to where he was, given what he's put his body through. But what do you make of it? I expect him to be better. I think he will be a touch sharper. We've seen, and here's a photo on screen. This is, a recent shot of him. It almost looks like, a wax model from Madame Tussauds. That was a photo shoot for GQ. And he's already at a slightly lower weight from what he's been saying publicly than on fight night on December 1st, 2018. So he's going to come in shape. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to translate into a so much better performance. But I just thought I'd put that out there and, what do you make of it? How much better can he be? Is it going to just be a small increment? Or do you think he will be better again by half? That's what he's expecting, up to 50% better. Drop a comment, loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.